Almost done. All right. TikTok, we're gonna go live. Instagram, we're going live. We are going live. We are talking about done. All right. TikTok, we're gonna go live. Let's see. Instagram, we're going live. We are going live. All right, we're good to go. So tonight we are talking about, ladies and gentlemen, being sued by a debt collector. So let me just get the link up and we're good to go. All right. So good night, everyone. Good night. Good night. Good night. I have gotten you all your emails, and I decided that one, I'm going to do a call for my school community, and two, I'm just going to stream it. I'm going to stream it because the amount of questions I'm getting regarding people being sued by a debt collector is next level. So what we're going to discuss tonight is, are you being sued by a debt collector? So let's get some context to where all of this came from, right? The context that all of this came from is one, 2020, 2021, 2022. A lot happened in 2021, 2022, and the repercussions of that year, we're feeling it now. And some of you might be saying, what is Doreen talking about? There was a lot of PPP money. There was a lot of free money. There was a lot of things being given out for free. All right. There was a lot of things being given out for free during the 2020, 2021, 2022 period. Right. So a lot of people got luxury cars. A lot of people got multiple apartments. A lot of people bought homes. A lot of people got a lot of credit card. A lot of people have a lot of debt. So fast forward 2025, going into 2026, what most of you don't know is that there is a thing called the statutes of limitation. All right. And the statute of limitation, we're approaching the 3 to 5 to 6 year. Some states like New York has a 3 year statute of limitations. All right. So after 3 years, a debt collector or a creditor cannot legally collect. That's one part. Some states have it where it is 5 years. Some states it's 6 years. Some states it's 4. But we're between that 4 to 6 year mark where the statute of limitations are going to be up on a lot of debt. And what the creditors have done is they have charged these things off. They have charged the credit cards off. They have charged the loans off. They've charged off a lot of the accounts and packaged them and sold them to debt collectors. Now, guys, if you see me looking like from left to right, it's because there's 3 screens. There is Instagram, YouTube, Zoom, and TikTok. So there's like 3 screens right now. So I'm just making sure I'm just giving everybody some love. All right. So what I was saying now is we're approaching that 3 to 5 to 6 year statutes of limitations, right? So what's happening is the creditors are selling the debt. They're bundling the debts and they're selling them. So what does that mean? It means now that debt collectors have spent tremendous amounts of money buying pools and pools of debt, and now end of 2025 going into 2026, there will be a lot more debt collection calls, a lot more lawsuits. So some of you, the debt won't appear on your credit. You'll just get a summons in the mail. And the summons in the mail is just going to say that, hey, you're supposed to answer. And if you don't, we're going to garnish your wage. Some of you are going to get court dates. Some of you are not going to get it because you're going to use the wrong address. Or in some cases, if you got served, they'll double serve you. And what does that mean? If you are double served, meaning you got served on the first and then you got served 30 days later, the debt collectors are using a trick, right? And how this trick works is that, okay, you got served the first time, you have 30 days to respond. Then you got served again, and you're like, oh, maybe I have 30 more days to respond. No, you don't. No, you don't. The first service, if it was done correctly, stands absolute. Meaning, if you got a second summons and you're like, oh, I have 30 more days, and you missed the court date because you didn't answer in the specific time from the first summons, the debt collector is going to go to court and they're going to put in for a default judgment against you. Do not be deceived. Is there anyone here that has ever been served twice in the same month by a debt collector? Is there anyone here that has been served twice by a debt collector? All right, Zoom, don't stay too quiet today. If y'all got some questions, y'all need to raise y'all hands, all right? So I want you guys to think of it as debt collectors are getting very sneaky. They're getting extremely sneaky, and they're doing some creative stuff where people are being double served 30 days apart. So you can think that you have additional time to respond to that summons. No, you don't. No, you do not. You do not have additional time. You don't. If the first summons was served correctly, you better respond within that first 30 days, or as your state or local jurisdiction requires you to respond. Some jurisdiction have 14 days, some has 20, some has 30. The most popular in most states are a 30-day response time. Guys, make sure you're on top of this stuff. Debt collectors are sending out notices to old, outdated addresses. Old, outdated addresses simply means that what? Personal jurisdiction was not established. The court that granted that judgment against you did not have the right. So there's a lot going on, ladies and gentlemen, that you guys need to be aware of. Debt collectors are getting extremely sneaky. And if you're not up to date on how to correctly use AI, consumer law, and case laws, I promise you, your wages will be garnished. That is a promise. Most people are replying, or should I say, most people don't know how to properly, they don't know how to properly respond to a debt collector. Guys, if a debt collector sends you a statement of claim and there's 10, 15, or 20 paragraphs, each paragraph need to be addressed, or you deny any and all allegations set forth by plaintiff. And now you need to counter. You need to counter whatever is in that summons statement of claim and respond. There's a lot you guys need to know, and there's a lot of people that's going to get sued. Some of you are being sued for debt that has passed the statutes of limitations. All right, Skool, this is your call. So this gives you guys the opportunity to ask me questions. All right. So house rules, raise your hands, raise your hand. And if you raise your hand, we can get your questions going. So raise your hands if you have a question in school. Raise your hand if you have a question. I'll call on you and we'll take it from there. And if you guys hear music in the background, karaoke is going on outside. All right. We got karaoke going on outside. And while I'm here, I'm gonna just take me a sip of some fever. So we're going live, karaoke styles. Guys, go ahead, ask me some questions. What you got? What's the statute of limitations of debt? The statute of limitations for debt varies per state. Each state has their own statutes of limitation. So, uncut jersey. What state are you in? Tell me, what state are you in? What state are you in? Debt collector lawsuits ask about statutes of limitations. What state are you in? Uncut jersey. Come on, guy. I wanna give you some love. Karaoke. Come on, guys. What y'all got for me? Nobody got no question for me? Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Oh, I. What's the best way to reply to getting sued after disputes? Okay, that's a very good question. So, Uncut Jersey, you're in Maryland. So, Uncut, do me a favor. I want you to go to Google and I want you to Google what is the statute of limitations for debt. Now, in Maryland, what you need to understand now, there's different statutes of limitations for written agreements, oral agreements, contracts, credit card debts. Each debt or specific debt may or may not have a different statutes of limitation. In New York, there's different statutes of limitations for different things, but the overall statute of limitations for a debt in the state of New York is 3 years. So find out what the statute of limitation is for your state. Some love. Come on, karaoke. I wanna give you some good loving. It's a Thursday night. We're talking credit, consumer law, karaoke is going on outside. I'm sipping on some fever. It's the best, guys. Right now is the best time to ask me any question. How do I delete my late payment? That is an amazing question. All right. Should I take my inquiries off? I just bought a car yesterday. Yes, take those inquiries off before they hit. Absolutely. How do I delete my late payments off an account that has been closed? Believe it or not, guys, and deleting an inquiry off a closed account is one of the easiest things you can do. So let me break this down and let me explain. When it comes to inquiries or when it comes to any dispute at all, once the consumer initiates the dispute with either one, the furnisher, two, a consumer reporting agency, or any third party that buys or sell information, a dispute or what is called an investigation must happen, right? So what this reinvestigation triggers, it triggers to see if the information is accurate, inaccurate, outdated, or can it be verified, right? Now, a late payment on a closed account. How can a company verify a late payment on a closed account? Well, let's go through the scenarios, right? In order for a late payment to be valid, what needs to happen? One, they need to make sure that periodic statements were sent out for that billing period, right? They need to make sure that the notices have information from Section 1637B. They need to show proof or show something that it was mailed and or delivered to the consumer, and this must be done no later than 21 days before the payment due date. So once all four criteria are met, a late payment can be valid. Does a creditor have all of this information? No. Have they ever sent all of this information? The answer to that is no. Now, there's something called a negative information notice. A negative information notice simply means that if a financial institution is going to put anything negative to a consumer reporting agency about a consumer's credit or any line of information, a negative information notice must be sent prior to the negative item being placed, being sent to the consumer reporting agency, or within 30 days of. that negative item being placed on the credit report. So what happens now is demand proof. Demand proof that all checks in the compliance sequence was done. Guys, you will never ever get proof that it was done. And information that cannot be proven, information that is inaccurate, must be deleted. 15 USC 1681 I-5. So deleting a late payment on a closed account is one of the most easiest things you will ever do in your life. And for those of you that need dispute templates, go to theraindelevante.com. Where do I type in this chat? Let's see. TikTok, I'm a little bit new to y'all. A lot has changed since I used to be on TikTok. I don't even see. Where do I comment? Where do I comment? Is it here? Oh, go live with guests. TikTok, I need some help. Where's the comments? I don't see where I comment. I don't see where I comment. Huh. I don't see where I comment on TikTok. All right. So does hybrid mentorship have Digital Boss Academy? Yes. Justin, yes. Hybrid mentorship have Digital Boss Academy. It has a few things. So when you go to the description, go take a look at it. It has a lot of stuff in it. And guys, I'm doing a 50% off. We're doing Black Friday early. It's an entire 50% off everything. So I recommend you guys go over to theraindelevante.com. So that's DARAINEDELEVANTE.com. All right. I really need to figure out how. I need to figure out how to use the chat box on TikTok. All right, so let's go back to the debt collectors now. What are some of the things that you guys are experiencing as it relates to a debt collector? Are you being called multiple times per day? That's one. Are you being harassed? Did you tell a debt collector to stop calling you? They're still calling you. Did a debt collector call your mom, call your dad, your sister, your brother, your uncle? Did they leave a voice note on a phone that does not belong to you? There are multiple things or multiple violations that qualifies under not only the Fair Credit Reporting Act, but also the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act. And a lot of consumers, believe it or not, you're being taken advantage of. A lot of you. You are being harassed to pay debts that has been past statute of limitations. You're being harassed where your telephone keeps ringing. You're being harassed at work. Your wages are being garnished. Their default judgment placed against you when there was no personal jurisdiction ever established. There's a lot of things going on. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? You have the negative item on your credit. The bankruptcy is there. The charge-off is there. The late payment is there. The student loan is there. The collection is there. The repossession is there. What are you going to do about the negative items on your credit? What are you going to do about it? Ain't nobody going to tell me? What you going to do about the negative item on your credit? What are you going to do about it? Well, let me tell you, you got to delete it. You cannot let unverifiable, inaccurate, outdated information linger on your credit reports. You cannot have that on your credit. Do not settle for inaccurate, outdated, unverifiable information on your credit. Someone says dispute them. All right, yes. So now let's address the dispute process itself, right? Let's address the dispute process itself. Let's use, for example, late payments, right? We're going to use late payments as the example. How do you dispute a late payment? What do you ask for when you're disputing a late payment? What do you ask for, or what do you send when you're disputing a late payment? Come on, guys, let's get it. All right, someone is saying proof of statement, proof of mail or delivery. These are some of the things, but what exactly do you send? Tried it and that shit don't work with these people now. It does work. Uncut. The law is the law. What happens is consumers do not know how to enforce the law. That's the problem. Consumers don't know because most of you are used to these credit gurus who are they're doing credit sweeps, they're doing identity theft, they're doing fraud, they're doing human trafficking. That's most of what 90% of America is used to. People using fake identity theft and human trafficking reports to get stuff deleted off your credit. And then when it comes back, nobody knows what to do because the items were not disputed correctly. The items were not disputed correctly. So, how do you correctly dispute negative items on your credit? How do you do it? You need to address what the problem is. So if it's late payments, you need to address what you are addressing with the late payments. Not all late payment disputes are created equal. They're not. And for anybody out there that's telling you, oh, my late payment letter is the best. Okay, what makes your late payment letter the best? What are you asking for? Do you even know what your round one is doing? What's your round one doing? What's your round one doing? What's your round one late payment asking for? The law gives every consumer the right to dispute any line of information that the consumer deems inaccurate. So if you pull your credit reports and there's something on there that you don't recognize. It could be a name, it could be an address, it could be an employment, it could be accounts. Is there anything inaccurate about your credit report? That's the first thing, right? So once we find out what's the issue with the credit report, now we go to, okay, what dispute letter do I need to draft? What dispute letter do I need to put together now so I can initiate a round one dispute? And what is my round one dispute going to be about? What's your round one dispute going to be about? Your round one dispute addresses the negative, inaccurate, or outdated information that is present on your credit report. So after you send this round one out, you send it certified mail, green return receipt, so you know when it got delivered, right? So what happens after your round one letter gets deleted? Does anyone know what happens after your round one? After you send out your round one dispute, what happens when it gets delivered either to the creditor or to the consumer reporting agency? What happens to your round one dispute? What happens, ladies and gentlemen? Someone says it gets ignored. All right. So let's talk about, okay. All right, there we go. They have 30 days. All right, Trevlon. Yes, that's the answer I was looking for. They have 30 days. It comes back verified. Not yet, Miss Make It Happen. Not yet. Not yet. Once it gets delivered, it starts the 30-day clock. Ladies and gentlemen, once it gets delivered, once it reaches the location, the 30-day clock starts. Can anyone tell me what's the purpose of the 30-day countdown? Why is there a 30-day countdown after your letter has been delivered? Why is this 30-day countdown so important? Let me see how many people are paying attention. Raptor Soft Wash, let's go. Thank you very much. Appreciate all the likes. All right, let's see. Deadline for proof. Yes, but there's something else that makes that 30 days so important. Guys, the 30-day time clock, it is so important. Does anyone know why the 30-day clock is so important? You can extend it for 15 days if you send another letter. Sanika, not necessarily. You are correct, but not what I'm looking for. Why is that 30 days so important? They have to answer or it gets deleted. Bingo, Jen. Jen Peak, you are correct. Very well. Yeah, they gave it to him. Right? Jen, you are correct. Guys, the 30-day period, the 30-day period is what the FCRA, which is the Fair Credit Reporting Act, it gives a creditor, it gives a consumer reporting agency, or what you guys call a credit bureau, 30 days to respond. If they do not respond in 30 days, the item must be deleted by law. Now, we know that. So we got that part out the way. The next question becomes, what are the possible ways they can respond to you? And we got one of the answers already from Miss Make It Happen. She said it comes back verified. What are the other ways that a creditor, well, a CRA, we're going to go after the CRA first. What are the possible ways the CRAs can respond to you? Can you forehand date the letter for 2 weeks so the system eOscar has 2 weeks to give an answer? I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. Could you do it? Absolutely. It's called backdating the letter. Yes, it's a strategy that we used back in 2020, 2021. But with consumer laws now, you don't have to use it because you're sending the stuff certified mail green return receipt. So if your letter is backdated, but then your certified mail green return receipt shows a different time, you lose the leverage that you're gonna have if you decide to sue them. All right. Don't they have to delete it if it's not verified by then? Celebrity, yes, you are correct. It must be deleted. So just be saying anything sometimes just to show they replied. Yes, they do a lot of stall tactics. Celebrity, you are correct. They do a lot of stall tactics, right? They do a lot of stall tactics. My client letter was warning my client's letter was warning my client not to work with a credit repair company. So Justin, those are what we call stall letters, Justin. Those are stall responses that CRAs send out when they attempt to sidestep their responsibility in investigating and responding to the dispute. What's the word I want to look for? The word is right on my tongue, and I can't. They're basically avoiding it. So the responses that they give, that they use to sidestep their reinvestigation, it is not valid. All right. They'll give you all sorts of answers. They'll tell you that you're working with a credit repair company. They'll tell you that they don't believe that it's you that sent the dispute out. They'll tell you that they need more information. All they're doing is stalling, right? They're responding without doing an investigation. They replied to me very dumb. Yes, these are called stall tactics. They're using stall tactics to respond, but the response has no context to the dispute that was sent out. So what do you do now? So now that they've responded to you, verified, validated, accurate. So that's the first scenario. Let's start from the first scenario. They responded to you, verified, validated, accurate, right? They responded to you, verified, validated, accurate. How do you respond to a verified, validated, accurate? How do you respond to a verified, validated, accurate? Let me see how many of you have been watching my videos. How do you respond to a verified, validated, accurate response from a CRA or accreditor? How do you respond? I don't want to wait in vain for my love. From the very first time my heart says follow true. It's karaoke, guys. Let's go. Come on, let's get it. All right, so one second, ladies and gentlemen, give me a second. All right, so let's talk about the verified, validated, accurate first. Someone says send a ledger. Not really. No, they're not going to send you a ledger. Request proof of how they verified it. Yes and no. All right. So the answer is yes. You are on the right track, but those are not the right words. All right. So a response to a verified, guys, get your pen out, okay? Get your pen, get your pencils. So when you receive a verified, a validated, an accurate response from a CRA, there's a section of the law that requires a consumer. I wouldn't say it requires, but it gives the consumer the right. The consumer has the right to request a description of the procedure that was used. I'm gonna say this again. Okay. The law gives the consumer the right to request what is called the description of the procedure used to verify the item. So if you ever receive a validated, verified response, your response to that is a description of the procedure that was used to verify the item. They have to send you this by law. Now, does anyone know when you send out a description of the procedure, how many days do they have to respond to you? So when you send out this description of the procedure, how many days do they have to respond to you? How many days? All right, someone says 15. Anyone else want to give it a shot? When you send out a request for the description of the procedure that was used in verifying the information, how many days do they have to respond? How many days? Someone says 10, someone says 30. No, the correct answer is 15. A description of the procedure has a response time of 15 days. All right? 15 days. They have only 15 days to respond to you. So if you ever request a description of the procedure, it must be done and sent to you within 15 days. So when does the 15 days start? When does the 15 days start? Let me see how many of y'all paying attention. When does the 15-day time clock starts? They have 15 days to respond to your request for the description of the procedure. When does that 15 days start? When? Date of receipt. Absolutely. The day they received it. Absolutely right. Yo, you guys are doing really, really good tonight. I'm really proud of y'all. Guys, remember, there's a 50% off my mentorship. There's a 50% off everything. Go to DarainDelevante.com. That's DarainDelevante.com. DarainDelevante.com, 50% off the entire store, including my programs. All right. So when you send out a method or a method of the description of the procedure, right? Or when you send that out, it's 15 days, ladies and gentlemen. They have 15 days. Does anyone know what law enforces that 15-day timeline? Does anyone know the law that states that if a consumer requests a description of the procedure from a consumer reporting agency, the consumer reporting agency have 15 days. Does anyone know what law? Someone says 15 USC 1681 I-7. Bingo, Sanika. Bingo, bingo, bingo. I-7 is the law that enforces the 15-day timeline. So as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, you have no reason to be having people do credit sweeps. You have no reason why someone should put a fake identity theft on your credit report. It's not worth it. You have all the answers. You have all the answers, guys. You literally have all the answers. There's no reason why someone is going to file fake identity theft, fake human trafficking on your information, and you have all the information. Right? Miss Make It Happen says 15 USC 1681 15 USC I-7. You're missing the 1681. I see where you're going. You're just missing the 1681. But yes, guys, you know how to request the description of the procedure that was used. You will know that it's 15 days. You know the law that holds them accountable. So again, I ask, beloved, why are you settling for subpar treatment from these agencies? Why aren't you punching a debt collector, punching a CRA or a credit bureau in the mouth? Why aren't you guys holding them accountable? You have to. You have to hold them accountable. All right, ladies and gentlemen, as we are winding down, we're about to close up for the night. Y'all did really good tonight. Out of all the questions I asked, I'd say tonight I got a 90% response rate. And from that 90% response rate, 80% of the answers were accurate. That means you guys are studying. It means you guys know your stuff. And it means I'm very proud of you guys. I am very, very proud of you guys. You guys know your stuff. And this is all I could ever ask for. You guys know your stuff. I'm extremely, extremely happy. I love the responses. Guys, drop some fire in the chat for yourself. Drop some fire in the chat for yourself. Let's go. When was the last time you celebrated you? Drop some fire in the chat for you. Let's celebrate you. Drop some fire in the chat. If I can figure out how to use my chat on TikTok, I swear to God. Right? I'm looking for it. I'm looking for it, but I cannot seem to find the chat button on TikTok. Service plus pin a notice for live chat highlight. Pin a notice, service buyer boards, queue. I have no idea where this chat button is. Nope. On TikTok. No idea. Effects, voice, background, sound effects. I'm seeing everything apart from where mute microphone, remove background noise. Yeah. All right, guys. That's gonna be it for tonight. I hope you guys learned some stuff. Remember, my entire program, mentorship, digital products, everything is 50% off. 50% off. Go to daraindelevante.com. That's DARAINEDELEVANTE, daraindelevante.com, and you will see everything on sale, 50% off. Coupon code take50. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. See you later, alligators.